Hello and welcome back to The Critic, where I criticize anything and everything. As you can see, we have the PlayStation 4 controller, also known as the DualShock 4. Let's start off with the build quality. If I add any tension to this controller, there isn't much flex. It seems just about the same as the DualShock 3. Sony didn't have to change anything here because that was never an issue with the PlayStation 3 controller. The buttons. The directional pad. The keys are almost silent to the touch. The action buttons have the same clicky sound from the DualShock 3 controller. The trigger and shoulder buttons. This seems much more quiet compared to the DualShock 3 controller. Let's put them side by side. Sony kept the same button, but they eliminated a lot of, I could say, looseness. As you can see, there's a lot of play with the DualShock 3 button, but with the DualShock 4, there isn't much. So Sony kept the same button, but they tightened the corners a bit. We've got a new button. We've got a touchpad button. This button is unique because it's the only button of its kind on this controller that has this feel to it. It's not quiet as the options and share button, but the option and share buttons aren't the same like the touchpad button. None of them, of course, carry on the brilliant of the D-pad silent touch. The analog sticks. Sony listened. Look at the height of that analog compared to the DualShock 3. They did exactly what I wanted. They lowered the DualShock analog on the DualShock 4 controller, and they changed the design a bit. They made a bit of a concaved design. I guess some people complained that their fingers would just slip off the DualShock 3. So the DualShock 4, they added a bit of a lip to prevent that from happening and lowered the height. Thank you, Sony. What about the sound that I had a problem with? Oh, it's still there, Sony. It is still there. It's a bit of a different tone, but it's about the same volume. That does not help us. Please, the DualSense controller needs to eliminate the sound. As for the rest of the controller, the back. If you guys can remember, I specifically requested that it would be ideal if Sony had to center the information that they had to prevent any fingers touching and fading this information area. Unfortunately, they did the opposite. This spans much more into your finger area, which, as you can see, maybe on your controller or others, these corners are indeed faded. Please, Sony, on the DualSense controller, keep this vertically. This prevents us from fading the beautiful controller that you constructed. I would give this controller a complete 8 out of 10. Why 8 out of 10, you may ask? Well, there's the major issue that I have with this controller. One of the biggest annoying issue I have with this controller. So annoying that I was so tempted of giving it a lower score than the DualShock 3 controller. And the issue is, The micro USB port is upside down.